Okay, it's my turn. How should I open? Boy, that really sets the bar high for the episode right there. Jeez. Welcome everybody to Don't Get Your Hopes Up.
Really, seriously, don't.
It is a podcast, and my name is Mike B, and that was Josh. That was I know it's hard to tell. I realize this now. I know it was hard to tell, but that was totally absolutely you. Josh.
No, that was you.
That was totally Josh.
You were like, "How should I start this?" That was completely you the whole time.
Oh man. No wonder video was so handy. God.
Yeah.
So it's been a kind of interesting week.
Yeah.
I want to jump right into Metal Gear, but I won't.
Yeah.
Because I know you want to jump into Destiny, and I won't let you. Because I'm a jerk. So what I'll do is we'll start off with something neutral.
Oh.
The FTC.
Known for its neutrality.
Yeah, known for its neutrality. Yeah, see?
I guess that's true. Yeah, it is kind of an impartial government
I just didn't want. I wanted it to be implied. I didn't want to point it out. You would have done the whole thing, and by neutral, whatever. I don't even know how. I can't even start. Actually, I don't even know how that even begins.
Yeah, I don't remember what we were talking about before, so I can't.
So
I can't go back to it at this point.
So, Machinima, the super huge YouTube MCN. Everybody knows who Machinima is.
MCN, of course, stands
multi-channel
for
network. Sorry,
my cracked nut. Oh,
yes. Now it is apparently because. And they, I mean, seriously, this is a bullet dodged. They're probably counting their whatever because, so here's what happened. A while back, I want to say this is like the end of last year, right? Or middle of last year or something like that.
I think it was 2013. Yeah, the agreement was in 2013.
Oh, 2013. Jeez.
So quite some time ago, but that's kind of the speed that the FTC works at anyway.
Pretty much. Microsoft came down and they struck a deal with Machinima to promote the Xbox One and for people to say positive things about the Xbox One in videos. Now, it is possible you may have missed that this happened. It was kind of a big deal a while ago. Total Biscuit talked about it a little bit. I think it kind of fell on deaf ears because it seemed like something that maybe was going to go anywhere. But quite a few YouTubers actually took part in this promotion where they could get upwards of $1 for every 1,000 video views, up to $25,000. That is a huge amount of money to just get on YouTube and get on camera and just be like, man, Xbox One is so awesome. Yeah. And you know what? Xbox One might be awesome. And you probably thought it was awesome, even though at the time, frankly, nobody thought it was awesome.
Yeah. Which was why this was suspicious at the time.
And you could, if you're popular, you could rake it 25 G's just like that.
Yeah.
And so the FTC investigated, and they found them to be essentially guilty of. And one thing that I thought was nice of the FTC, they didn't fine them like crazy amounts of money or do anything to punish them or whatever. Nobody went to jail. Nothing crazy happened. They basically just said, hey, busted. We're going to make sure we're at the top of the Google search, keyword search for this. So everybody knows when they search for Machinima that you guys are jerks and you guys cannot do this again, or I don't know what they'll do. They'll probably do something pretty drastic. But
yeah, it's kind of like they said, at least according to the Polygon article, the FTC is now mandating basically that Machinima follow the law.
Yep.
Which is that influencers have to clearly disclose when they've been paid for an endorsement, which is a normal thing.
Mm-hmm. It is now, but in 2013, it was like now it's more ethical. Or I'm sorry, before today, it was more ethical. But 2 years ago, it was being done left and right.
Yeah, it's sort of like, well, that's why this is so interesting, is because it's kind of a wake up call to the industry, because like on the like on every other advertising network, you have to be pretty clear about who's paying for the advertisement and who is actually putting it on. And on the interwebs, that was kind of like flying under the radar a bit. And there were a lot of people that, honestly, a lot of this happens because most of the people that are involved in these businesses just don't know any better, because it's usually people who, like, especially these particular YouTubers, they're probably just people who they like video games and they like talking about video games on the internet, so they decided to start doing that, and whoops, accidentally a bunch of people start watching their stuff. That's what happened with both of us on the internet, is we just started making stuff and people for some reason found it entertaining. And so that means they don't necessarily have like a business background whatsoever. So yeah, go ahead.
So the infraction, by the way, any future infractions are going to cost them $16,000 per violation. Yeah. So you could still turn a profit if you get $25,000 from Microsoft. I'm just saying. But I think you and I were doing this. I think we were at our peak doing this in 2013. Or
not exactly but close.
But not promoting products and not getting people on the table. But but in terms of like our online presence and making videos and doing all that stuff, cranking it out. It was one of those things where it's like you want the extra money, of course. Like your only income is basically YouTube and whatever little contracts you have here and there. Yeah. You want the extra money, but at the same time, and you want to do it right. So the option of not doing it right really isn't a question, because it was still an ethical thing then. It just wasn't as widespread. I think us, because of our involvement in so many different properties and platforms, we kind of caught wind of the whole ethical part of, disclosing that you're being, sponsored or something. But you also didn't really want to present yourself as like selling out, like being a YouTuber and not having doing this for a living, which is kind of, I don't want to say rebellious, but it's like, I didn't have a real job, I didn't have to go to an office. I had an office job, and I left that office job for this. And it felt like it was freedom. It was, wow, this is great, man. I'm doing what I love, and I'm having fun, and I make my own hours, and I'm my own boss, and this is freaking amazing. I don't want to sell out to these. I don't want to let people know that I'm selling out. I don't want to say, this. By the way, this is brought to you by Microsoft. So blah blah blah. Yeah. It was on our personal videos. We did it on Game Breaker all the time, because that was a business and that was what it was. But
brought
on our personal
to you
channels,
by Audio Slave or whatever.
Brought to you by Netflix. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Even though
we had Netflix for a while, and that was like, oh, this is actually a legit thing that's doing this. Then later it was like Shutterstock or something. And we were like, what? Shutter what?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but we were doing it legit on those channels. But again, I think we both understand that, part of us didn't want to sell out. We didn't want to be like, hey, this episode brought to you by such and such, and now I'm going to talk about that product.
And also at the time, it was a lot less common for people to have corporate sponsors. Like nowadays, you'll go to like Bajira, and he has like 4 or 5 different ads for different things on his stream. Like Cellucor is the one that comes to mind, but I know he's got a bunch of others, and those are his sponsors. And that's perfectly acceptable behavior in today's environment. That's perfectly fine for a streamer to say, yeah, I like these products, I support these products, they support me, buy these products. And people are actually totally cool with it. They're like so happy that some company is supporting their favorite streamer. They're like, fucking yeah, man, Cellucor, holy shit. Yeah. And then they decide they're gonna get ripped or whatever. I think that's the term that the kids are saying these days.
Hey, let's see, it's not ripped, it's not swole. God, what is it?
Yeah, they're gonna get swag or something.
Sure.
Yeah. And like in today's environment, that's totally cool. But back when, at least when I was doing this stuff,
the Wild West,
in the old days, when I was the like 3rd most popular WoW streamer, but also the 5th least popular WoW streamer, because there were 8.
That's a perspective right there. Yes. Yeah, that's true. It's true.
So yeah, like back in those days, it was much less. It was a lot scarier at the very least. Like it turns out that as soon as people started doing that, everybody kind of latched on it and they were okay with it. But at the time, when you're approached by somebody to represent their product, you're like, oh my god, I don't want to piss off all of my viewers and lose this thing that I'm just starting to grow in this industry that hasn't been figured out yet.
What are you selling ads now? My ad block won't stop this. What's going on?
Well, and also like I actually did I did two reviews for products that I was in a roundabout way paid for. I wasn't actually given monetary compensation for it, but it was that somebody sent me a product and was like, hey, we'll give you this for free if you talk about how you feel about it. And there were actually 3 that I was approached to do. One of them was my if people remember ages ago on the Weekly Marmot, I had a Horde like jersey that had my name on the back of it. And that was that company, which like a month later they stopped making the thing, so it was the worst marketing. It
just makes it that much more rare.
Yeah,
for you. Anyways.
But that was something where like they were totally okay with whatever I had to say about it. They just wanted to send it to me and have me wear it on the show. So I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, they sent it to me. I was like, yeah, this is actually pretty nice. I kind of like this. And that was like, as long as they were okay with me saying whatever, like if they sent it to me and I hated it, I was going to talk about how I hated it.
Yep.
But yeah, like that I was totally cool with. And another one was actually through ZAM for the Intel SSD when SSDs were first starting to become a thing. Yeah. And so they like sent me an SSD and I was like, oh man, this is awesome. And I like made a video about it. And the thing about that one was the agreement was if I didn't like it, I just wouldn't make the video. Yeah. And that I think is more okay. Like they're saying, here, we're going to send you this. Our part of the agreement is we send you this. You get to keep it regardless. And you can make a video. And if you don't like the video, or if you don't like the product, then you just don't post a video about it as a result of having received this thing. And then you get to keep the thing. If you do like it, go ahead and post the video. And I think that's okay. Like I felt like it was okay at the time because like I did actually like the product.
I would have felt that was okay at the time. I don't think that's okay now because now it's like I would look at it like, oh, Intel is trying to flood the market with positive reviews, regardless of of mine.
Yeah, maybe. And I mean, there's always going to be sort of the aspect of if it's free, you're going to like it a little bit more.
That's if you
spend a bunch of money.
And we talked about that before too, like getting free stuff, when you go, especially when you go to conventions, you go to parties and whatever. Like we were exposed to that stuff so often. Yeah. Of just having free shit just thrown in our face that it would just it's like, well, wait a minute, do I like this thing because it's like awesome, or is it just because I got something for free or something?
Well, and I should also be clear that in that video, I believe anyway, I wasn't actually uploading my own videos at the time. I was sending them to people to upload, but I'm pretty sure in the description it said that it was sponsored by Intel or something like that, and that was
probably.
Like I was okay with that as like for my own integrity, knowing that if this isn't my opinion, then it's not going out, right? Like if my opinion is that this product sucks, then I'm not going to make a video.
So
and I actually had there was another one that was sent to me, out of respect for the company, I won't say who it was, but someone else sent me a product, which was a keyboard, and I hated the keyboard. And I said, look, my review of this is going to be super negative. And they were like, okay, that's fine. And just left it at that. And I didn't end up making a video for it.
Yeah, so when I was doing the BFF report for ZAM, and we use ZAM as an example because ZAM had a sales team. Us as individual content creators did not. So ZAM was basically creating these deals. And there was a lot of times. There was a couple games that we were paid to do, and I see a couple of things. It sounds like there's a lot. It's probably like three out of like the 100 and something BFF reports. And then one of them was like the Mass Effect Arrival trailer, or not trailer, but DLC for Mass Effect 2. And I was already like a hardcore Mass Effect nerd. I was like, yes, oh yeah, totally, yes. It's already gonna be good. And I played it and it was like, oh yeah, it was pretty good, so great. And I made a BF report out of it. But there was a lot of things that I shut down because we were getting approached. It was like, oh yeah, do you want to do this thing? But we had a really great agreement because I was actually at the time, especially in the early BF report days, like I was like, I am looking forward to being an asshole about games, and constructive criticism was kind of secondary to being kind of a dick, right?
Right.
Now there's more of a balance, I would say. But at the time it was that, and I was very upfront with the sales department. I was like, yeah, so just so you know, if you sell a product or a package or whatever, an advertising package, and part of that includes a BFF report, you have to tell them that I might be a dick about their product. And he was like, oh yeah, it's fine, whatever. I was like, okay. I was like, oh, that's totally fine then. And so so that really helped because I was able to basically just do my own thing. And at the time, I didn't really feel like I was getting anything free. I got a serial key for a game. It was kind of like, okay. But anyways, real quick, the SSD that you're talking about, it was the X25M.
Yeah.
120 gigabyte. So at the
time, still have it in my machine.
so do I. All three of them. So
what?
So I go to the ZAM office, right? I'm down there for like E3 or something like that, and I swing by the ZAM office, and I'm talking to sales, the guy we always talk to in sales, and I was like, yo, what's up with all these drives? And he's like, you fucking want them? I'm like, yeah, of course. He goes, I can't give these to anybody. So just fucking I don't want to, I'm tired of looking at them, get them out there. It was like fucking 3 drives. Like 3 of these, like, at the time they're like $300 drives. I was or some crazy number, right? And I was just like, okay. And that's it. Now I have like a whole bunch of drives, and I put them in like, I put 2 in one machine. I still use them, and I have 1 in like another machine. I actually have 2 of them are actually in other machines I don't even fucking use. They're just there. They're great drives. But anyways, it was just funny that he was just like, I'm tired of looking at them, because in that office, everybody else like wasn't really. It was like ad ops and coordinators, and it was people who were not like, he was the only real hardcore gamer inside that office. And so nobody else is really like a PC enthusiast. So he's just sitting there staring at these drives like, get out of my face.
Nice.
I will take them.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and that like that was also like, just to backtrack a little bit before we get back on this topic, I just wanted to say that this is obviously not necessarily the best way to go about these sorts of things. I think in the interest of like completely impartial journalism, it's best to be like, okay, yeah, send me your product and I will say whatever it is that I have to say about your product.
Yeah.
And that's it. At the time, I just didn't know any better, and all I could think was, well, this seems like a good opportunity, but I don't want to sacrifice my integrity as whatever the internet personality thing that I was generating at the time. So I was like, okay, I'll go along with it, but only if I don't have to say nice things about it that I don't believe in. And they were like, yeah, no, that's fine. And that was how that ended up working out. And that's why I can kind of understand the YouTubers, the specific YouTubers in this whole agreement, of why they would be like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. Like when you have someone like Machinima telling you, yeah, it's totally fine. Here, we'll pay you a whole bunch of money in order to say nice things about the Xbox One. And you're like, yeah, the Xbox One, yeah, the 360 was really good. The Xbone can't be that bad. Sure, I can say nice things about the Xbone. And maybe they legitimately felt nice things about the Xbone. But the reality was they were being paid to say nice things about it instead of being paid to review it, which is a very, very important distinction.
Yeah, and I also want to point out, I mean, I'll be upfront honest, like, I have done some things that I am not proud of in my early YouTuber days, for sure, or early content days. But we're talking like 2010, like this drive scenario that we're talking about right now, this is like 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
So the culture and the climate has really fucking changed in the past 4.5 years. But yeah, there are some things that I look back on, and it's like I could not get away with doing that now. There are some BFF reports that that I look at and I'm like, ooh, no, can't do that today.
Yeah.
It's like Blazing Saddles, it's like, whoa, that wouldn't last that long today.
Yeah, well, like back then, no one really had any idea what was going on, including the audience and including the people creating content. It was just kind of like this. These were back in the days where YouTube would not give people with gaming channels ads to run on their channel.
Yeah, that's right.
So they could make money.
Yeah.
It was like they just wouldn't do it for the longest time.
The only way you could do it is if you had an MCN backing you, and that was it.
Yeah. That was why so many, that was why Machinima became a thing in the first place.
Yep. That's why Curse got so big. That's why all those guys got big.
Yeah. Nowadays, you don't need that anymore. You just make they have to actually provide. Looking back on those days, the whole reason to sign with something like Machinima or Curse or I think the Game Station was a big one at the time. And TGN as well.
The Game Station became Polaris.
Yeah, a lot of those are still around.
Yep.
The difference is just that back in those days, it was the reason that their product and what they were giving to the YouTuber was income. Like they were the way that you got income. Mm-hmm. Nowadays, it's more like they actually have to be providing a service to the YouTubers. And like, okay, as part of this, we're going to promote you on these channels. We're going to get you access to these particular people. We're going to get you press passes to these events and so on and so forth. Which is that's how they make it worthwhile today. At the time, it was just, you want to get paid? Well, then you have to sign half of your pay over to us.
Oh, God, that's right. Yeah, 60-40, man. Oh, what a joke. What a joke. But, but yeah, I mean, nowadays, everybody's comfortable with it. Like, it's comfortable with, the disclosing that things are promoted and all that. So this coming down on them, it's like, I'm sure, actually, because the culture demands it, I feel. But I'm fairly certain they probably have systems in place to track that kind of stuff. I know that I'm with Polaris, and Polaris runs promotions and stuff like that here and there, but it's never anything that's like, we will pay you like this one, $1 for every 1,000 views, right?
Yeah.
It's none of it is that deceptive, I guess you could say, to the end user, anyways. So it's just become more acceptable to present. I'm doing this promotion for such and such, and they want to talk about this, and so here I am. I'll talk about this, and it sucks, or it's awesome, and whatever. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's super interesting to look at how much, like even just in the past, like this is a 2013 thing, and nowadays, like especially after the whole Gamergate thing, like which, regardless of what it ended up becoming, it started as originally, I want to say, some of the people involved were like, no, the reason that this is bad is because you have like this journalistic integrity thing, and there certainly are some people on either side of it who were arguing journalistic integrity the entire time.
Oh yeah, even today, if that still exists, but it's
There were also a lot of people who were just being dicks.
Oh,
I want to be clear about that.
Yes,
but there was this sort of like, there were some people who were looking at it from the perspective of journalistic integrity, and that's something that has just become such a hot button issue in the gaming journalism market these days, and even just a gaming personality market. Like even if you don't call yourself a gaming journalist and you're just some guy that makes YouTube videos, if you're some guy that makes YouTube videos and you're being paid to say nice things about something, then that falls under a little bit more scrutiny nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Thank you, Gamergate.
Yeah.
Russell, some chimneys here. But you're right. You're absolutely right. That whole thing, that whole fiasco that happened, I want to say beginning of last year and kind of peaked throughout the year, that definitely helped kind of get people's shit together. And I am thankful that whole thing happened, because now I feel like things are a bit more honest. And it's good. It's totally good for everybody.
Yeah.
I'm hosting. Speaking of
things that are good for everybody, unless you're involved in the Xbox One. So speaking of,
I
by
didn't
which
even
I
think
mean,
about that angle. Oh,
by which I mean, speaking of reasons that everybody who bought an Xbox One made the wrong choice. By which I mean, speaking of Destiny and the PS4 3.0
no, wait,
update.
hold on, hold on.
Okay.
Now, I am a PS4 owner, and
Yes.
I was definitely not about the Xbox One. I have 2 Xbox 360s that I love. I fucking love. But I wasn't into the Xbox One. And it's because, and I think like we said earlier, everybody agreed that initially it was like, what is this all about? Now that I've cut the cord and I have an antenna on my TV for HD over the air, now their DVR update that they have coming at the end of this year, I'm like, hell yeah, Xbox One, bring it.
On the Xbox? I hadn't actually even heard of that.
Yeah, so they already have a built-in, no, it's not built-in tuner, but it'll support an external tuner. So that's kind of neat. You can plug it like USB or something.
Nice.
And you can plug your antenna into it. And then you can pick up HD signal, and it'll download the guide, so you could see. So it basically looks like, like Comcast or whatever. Like it has an actual guide, or Media Center if you're familiar with Media Center. So
you can watch local access channels.
Well, I mean, there's a lot. Like right now, we're in the Bay Area, but because we're on a hill. We're kind of off to the side. We kind of miss out on a lot of the channels, but we still pick up a lot of stuff. Like we have like 40 something channels, and realistically, the average person is not going to watch 40 different channels for content.
Yeah.
But if I have a DVR option, that pretty much locks me into being able to watch whatever I want whenever I want. Because watching live TV sucks. We all know this. And so it's So yeah, they're gonna add, so basically the same technology they're using to record game footage, they're gonna use that to record TV.
Nice.
And that's it. So I think that is sweet. So I am all about the Xbox One after I think November.
Yeah, I have a PS4 and I have an Xbox One, and I still I don't actually remember the last time I looked at my Xbox. I bought an Xbox One because I was like, yeah, I want an Xbox One. And then I got it home and I plugged it in and I was like, I don't remember why I wanted this.
Oh.
Like I use it to get free games with gold, but the free games with gold are usually worse than the PS4 PS Plus games. So
some decent. Yeah, no, you're right though.
Yeah.
You're right.
I think actually there's one I haven't actually looked.
Well, they have the Xbox 360 game support.
Yeah, someone was telling me earlier today that there's one on the games with gold right now that's worth looking into. So I'll have to check that out. But anyway, we're not even talking about the Xbox. We're talking about the PS4 update.
Speaking of updates.
Yeah.
It's going to make everybody happy.
Yeah.
So the PS4 is receiving 3.0. Right now it's in beta, I think.
Yep.
And it is bringing to the table a ton of crap, including YouTube gaming streaming. But that's actually... Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, I read that bullet. So I'm actually looking at their blog right now. It says PS4 will be able to live stream gameplay to YouTube. And in my head, I immediately thought to myself, for those with an interest in streaming without all those pesky viewers.
But YouTube does have the brand.
It does have the brand.
To the layman's, like the serious layman's. Like if you're a gamer in any respect, especially PC, you know what Twitch is. So yeah. Twitch has a very strong brand, but YouTube is just going to reach out to those folks who, they only play Madden. Yeah. So at the top of the list, you're going to see Madden and NBA 2K15, and that's going to be the top of the stream list on YouTube gaming. Mark my words, it's going to happen.
And actually, this could actually help out YouTube gaming a lot because they kind of need viewers to generate viewers. Mm-hmm. And this is the sort of thing that will attract not the serious full-time streamers that are actually trying to make a living off of it, and thus are the people that people will actually want to watch. But it will generate at least enough people, potentially at least, enough people who are just streaming on YouTube because they found the streaming button and thought that might be cool.
Yeah.
That then there actually is some potential for YouTube gaming to start to build an audience. At which point it might be eventually, as soon as YouTube gets around to adding a way for streamers to get subscriptions, like paid subscriptions and donations. Basically, until they do that, they're dead in the
Until
water.
they feature match Twitch.
Yeah.
Until
They actually give streamers a way to generate revenue, then they're kind of dead.
More people streaming, more people watching, more features gonna get put into it. So it's good.
Yeah.
So there's I know what you want to point out.
Yeah.
And I'll let you take that. But I think that the sharing video clips to Twitter is very interesting.
That's super cool. Yeah.
It is very cool, but it's also interesting because Twitter has been so slow with rolling out their video feature.
Yeah.
Right now on the web client, you can only upload stills and GIFs. And obviously you're very limited with the GIFs. It's like 2 megabytes or 3 megabytes, something like that. On the mobile client, you can upload stills, GIFs, and videos, but you're limited to like 30 seconds or something. And that's pretty neat, right? But they limit it to your phone probably because they know that if they put it on the PC where it's super easy to upload, then they're gonna get completely inundated with video. So now as we can see here, their next step is to allow. This is where game footage is now gonna start getting presence in their video platform, but they're limited to 10 seconds.
Yeah,
10 seconds. That is basically any GIF that you see on r/gaming or r/game physics or r/whatever. Like any what is it? Any Rocket League crazy score that somebody makes. That's about 10 seconds. That's all you're gonna get.
Yep.
And I think it's a good length, but I'm also wondering if they limit it to that because they think that platform is going to bring so many videos to their to Twitter that that's how they're gonna bottleneck them essentially. And I also wonder if the quality is gonna be pretty good.
Yeah,
or be better.
There is a ton of storage that would be necessary for them to allow people to upload. Like I uploaded to YouTube the other day because I went on this crazy ass spree in Destiny of like 20 kills. And I was like, this is the best that I will ever do in this video game ever. I need to upload this. And that was like 9 minutes long. If Twitter allowed, like they probably don't have the back end capabilities to support all of PS4 users uploading video clips to Twitter. I should mention that for certain high-end brands, which includes Blizzard, Twitter does actually allow them to upload a video of any length directly to Twitter.
Yep, GoPro has the same thing actually.
Yeah,
there's a bunch. I just watched like an entire lap from the Sonoma Raceway through GoPro, which was pretty neat, like in the Twitter client.
Yeah, the downside is that their video support is super janky. So if you use TweetDeck like I do, you just see a link to something instead of actually seeing the video. Mm-hmm. So it's still better for most people. For most, like even for Blizzard, half the time we just put a YouTube video in there instead of uploading it directly to Twitter because it displays better.
Oh, and World Star Hip Hop. Sorry, I forgot. Yeah, that's another one that has video access. Anyways, cool. I mean, because I know that you're like all about that. So the 10-second thing I thought was interesting, and but I think it's good. It's another step. It's another evolution in that feature for the product. And so I'm looking forward to getting video access on Twitter. Like just you could just straight up make a video clip and just upload it straight to Twitter. Don't have to mess around with YouTube. Yeah,
it's not the sort of like if you're trying to make a living off of content, it's worse than YouTube for uploading it because you don't get the ad plays, obviously. But it's still like for a brand, it's super cool to be able to do that and say like we recently were using it for when the Raid Finder wings unlocked. We would just upload the video directly to Twitter so that people could click on it and play it right there instead of having to go to YouTube. Mm-hmm. But the big exciting thing about this...
now the big news, actual big news.
Yeah. So PS4 System Software 3.0 update is adding something called communities. And it says PS4 users will have the ability to create communities based around shared interests like games, genres, and more. Communities include a message board with general discussion, which, by the way, sounds like the worst possible thing to try and type a forum post out using the fucking controller.
Right.
Screenshots shared by players, which is pretty cool. And the ability to join parties and games. And then the next sentence made me laugh out loud when I read it. It said, if you want to tackle a big multiplayer raid, but don't have enough friends available, this could be a great way to connect with other players who are looking for the same thing. How many PS4 games have big multiplayer raids?
Yeah.
Let's think about this for a second. So basically what they're saying here is, okay, Destiny, you don't have social features. We'll add some and make everybody who's playing Destiny on Xbone feel even worse about themselves.
It's basically what Destiny and FF14, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and even FF14, like, they still have guilds in that game.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, this is really, like, there will probably be some value for it for FF14 in, like, maybe finding guilds and stuff like that. But for Destiny, this is going to be, like, assuming that this feature actually works how they say it's going to and doesn't suck for some reason, this is a game changer for Destiny. Like, this is the way that you can go and say, okay, I'm looking in the Destiny raids community. I don't have to pull out my phone and go to Destiny LFG.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to, like, try to coerce a bunch of my friends to buy a PS4 so that they can play with me. I can just go into this community and say, hey, who wants to play right fucking now? And there will be people that I can go and play with right fucking now. And that's huge for me. That means that I will actually probably do the rating in the Taken King.
So it's funny, like, I feel like they announced this on the same day there was a live stream or something. Because I got both sets of news at the same time. There was a live stream about about TTK where they showed a trailer. And at the same time, I also got a link from Shizzle because I get all of my Destiny news comes from Shizzle.
Yeah.
and then he throws me a link to this, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. Did Bungie work with them on this community feature? Like, on this? It's like, oh no, this is completely independent. It just happens to be the thing that ties directly into Destiny. But this is like, seriously though, like rip DestinyLFG.net and .com.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they'll still exist.
Sure.
And like r/fire teams will still exist, but they'll exist because people want to be part of that specific community.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they want to play with other people from Reddit, or they want to play with the people on Destiny LFG instead of I don't know why they would want to go to Destiny LFG instead of this. But like the r/fire teams, I could see people saying, no, I want to play with Redditors, so they'll use that.
Yep.
The default, again, assuming that this feature doesn't suck, because apparently there are like guilds. There's Bungie run guilds in the game already, and I just learned about that the other day. Apparently they've existed since the beginning, and I just had no idea. But assuming that this feature doesn't suck, I easily, because just for the reason that you don't have to tab out, or you don't have to, I guess tab out's the wrong term, but you don't have to pull out your phone, you don't have to be sitting at a PC to find other people.
Yeah, totally.
This will become the way that you find other people to play Destiny with. And Bungie has to, like, they have to have known that this was coming. And that's like, because when I first heard about the Taken King, I was like, okay, this expansion sounds like it's solving 80 to 90% of the problems I have with the game. And I was talking to Shizzle about that, and he's like, oh, well, what isn't it solving? It seems like it's solving basically everything for me. And I was like, it's not solving the complete and total lack of social features in the game. And so Bungie has to have known that this was coming.
Yeah.
And been like, we don't need to add that to the Taken King because there's a PS4 thing coming and nobody plays on Xbone anyway.
Yeah, and that's part of communication between those two guys, and that that happens. Like they're not blindly just creating things, and especially when it comes to social stuff with players like working together or anything that might duplicate functionality that could exist in the PS4 core software. And we sometimes try to do that with you guys, like we being Wowhead and you guys being Blizzard. We try to do that sometimes with you guys, but yeah, you guys are a little tight-lipped about stuff. But occasionally we'll get a bone, and it's like, okay, something
It'll usually be along the lines of, we're gonna post this blog in 3 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, don't develop this feature. It's like, oh, okay, thanks.
Yeah.
But yeah, that kind of communication is super important between between businesses, and that definitely happens between Bungie and Sony for that, and that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, and like in this case, like the relationship between Bungie and PS4 is a little bit different than the relationship between between Bungie and Sony. Is a little bit different between the relationship between Wowhead and Blizzard, just because Wowhead's job is then to communicate things to everyone. If PS4 goes to Bungie, or Sony goes, I keep calling them PS4 like that's the whatever. Yeah. Wow.
Oh,
damn.
Oh, there's a car chase in my neighborhood.
Nice.
Well, because I just heard the car drive by super fast like 2 seconds ago.
Nice.
And now the cops are flying by. Like I heard a car go, and then like peel out and go up the hill here.
Nice.
You must know the neighborhood because every other road on this stretch of on the main road is a dead end. This is the only road that will actually take you to. Wow, they're like right here.
Either that or some seriously awesome Google Maps is going on right now.
I'll get to a car chase. Google, get me to so and so with several diversions.
Yeah. But anyway, I was just saying that the reason that it's different is that if Sony goes to Bungie and says, "Hey, we're developing this feature," Bungie isn't then immediately going to go, "Okay, now our job is to tell everybody about this feature."
Yeah, no, that's true. It's a very important distinction.
Yeah, like the reason that Blizzard tends to not tell Wowhead about, "Hey, there's this expansion we're working on" or whatever, is because what are you going to do with that information? Like, okay, I guess we can wait to find out what's going on with it.
Yep. Yeah. We get hooked up on some things, but that's definitely a different relationship altogether.
Yeah.
So I mean, I want to go look out the window, dude, and see this stuff.
Okay.
Because I hear them. They're actually like right outside, I think.
Oh, are you about to get murked?
Murked. Is that the kids are calling swatted now?
I said it accidentally the other day. I don't remember what it was I was trying. Oh, I was gonna say it was like murdered and nuked, and my brain combined I was gonna say either murdered or nuked, and then my brain combined the two words. I ended up saying murked, and I was just like,
I like it.
I'm gonna go with it.
I like it. It's good. Hey, introduce the next topic real quick. I'm gonna go out the window and see if anything's happening.
All right. So while Mike B gets murked, speaking of the PS4 update fixing Destiny, by which I mean speaking of Destiny, because there's no other way to go with this one. Destiny has an update coming on the 8th.
What do you say? What did I miss?
All I said was, speaking of the PS4 update fixing Destiny, by which I mean speaking of the Destiny update coming on the 8th, because there's no place else to go with that. They're already linked. This is basically just a continuation of the existing topic.
So real quick, so remember when I said that this guy got lucky? This guy running from the cops is lucky because this is the only street that actually connects to another, like you can actually go through.
Yeah. So
it splits, right? Like, you get on this road, you come up my street, and then you go up, and you can either go straight or you can make a left. If you make a left, you get into a small maze, and you can make it back to the main road. And that's what I mean by you can connect back to the main road. Everything else is a cul-de-sac. Well, if you go straight, it's a fucking dead end. So I'm looking out the window, and guess what? Somebody didn't make the right turn because now he's sitting at the end of a dead end up there. I can't see that. I can see the cop lights and everything, their lights, but I can't see what's actually going on. I don't hear any gunshots or anything yet, but yeah.
Yet.
This is probably the most exciting thing that's happened in this neighborhood in like 20 years. And here I am on a fucking podcast.
Yeah. Bringing it to you live.
So yeah, the 8th. This is the early thing, right?
Yeah, this is the update to. It's basically like, you know how WoW, when an expansion comes out, there's a pre-patch and it has all the system changes, but not the content yet. It's basically the same exact thing. They're putting a whole bunch of system changes. The difference is that Bungie is extremely tight-lipped about what exactly is changing until very close to it. Which, by the way, I just want to say I'm super jealous of. the reason Blizzard can't do that is because y'all will go in and data mine fucking everything. And we'll be like, right, okay, so now we have to explain what these 4,000 things are because someone saw something that said hat, flower, pants, and immediately made all sorts of assumptions about it. Anyway, I'm not bitter. It's so funny. Like,
don't worry, dude. It won't be my fault after this month. So
it's true.
You can blame somebody else.
It's so funny. Like, it used to be on the other side. I was like, oh yeah, data mining. Data mining is what's saving World of Warcraft. And now I'm on the other side. I'm like, God damn it, data mining. Why are you ruining World of Warcraft? Difference of perspective. Anyway, so Bungie has the September 8th update, the update 2.0, which is changing a whole bunch of stuff, as can be expected. They're actually bumping the character cap, the level cap, up to 34, which is currently the level cap if you get it through light. Which I'm keeping an eye to see if Shizzle pops online because he said he was going to run me through Prison of Elders so that I could buy a piece of gear, which will get me to 34 tonight. But anyway, they're bumping the level cap up to 34. The level cap for the Taken King is 40. But since people right now can get to 34 by having the gear, and they're doing this whole, like, if you're already level 34, then we're going to give you that level and then change everything over to their new system because they have light is basically item level now.
Right.
It's like a combination of item level and defense. Anyway, and the other cool thing about that is it means that once this update goes out, if you aren't level 34, you can just do stuff that gives you XP, and you can work your way up there in the next week, which is pretty cool. I really like that. It means that everybody has an opportunity to start on an equal footing going into the expansion, even if you haven't been playing for ages or been super lucky with drops and stuff. And they're putting all sorts of other little updates in it. There's actually a whole bunch of like there's some new maps that are going in for the Crucible. They're auto completing everybody's year 1 exotic bounties. So like I have one that I just got the other day.
Really?
I could have gotten Thorn, but I was an idiot and selected the wrong quest, so I got the quest for Invective instead, which, whatever.
Invective's not bad.
Invective's not bad, and Thorn is nerfed in a week anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I just picked it up, and then I was like, oh, I should do that today when I'm streaming. And then someone in my chat was like, this is going to autocomplete. So I was like, I guess I'm not going to do that. I'll spend my time on something else. They're doing a whole bunch. It's only the year 1 bounties. Year 1 exotic bounties, excuse me. It's only the exotic bounties that are being auto-completed. All the other bounties are being auto-abandoned. The cool thing about this update is that they're doing they have this like little it's not the full patch notes for the update, but they have this like here is what you need to know about this update, little bunch of bullets down the bottom, which I think is a really, really cool way to just directly spell things out for people. They say, our live team has some last minute suggestions for you, or for how you might best spend your final moments in year 1. And it's like, complete those year 1 bounties. Don't delete characters or dismantle items just yet. Try the year 1 campaign again. Jump into the Crucible for some new action. Try your beloved auto rifles again because they're buffing auto rifles, which makes me really happy.
Oh, good. I love auto rifles.
Yeah, I love auto rifles too. And story time. I don't know if you saw my tweet, but a couple days ago, me and Valheim.
Yeah.
We just decided to duo the Nightfall. It was like the last Nightfall ever, and it was solar burn, and we both had like Galar horns, so we were like, fuck it, let's just do it. And we went and we murked the boss. I actually really like that term. I'm gonna keep using it. We went in and murked the boss real quick, and we both got exotic auto rifles. Like right at the end in the
got exotic rifles?
Yeah.
They must have cranked that shit up.
They must have. Like, that's the only thing I can think of that explains it, is that both of us, like, I got a Suros regime and he got a what's the other one? I cannot think of the name right now. I got killed by someone with it like 4,000 times earlier today.
Suros.
Yeah.
What is it? Is it a shotgun? Is it a...
No, it's an auto rifle.
Oh, it's an auto rifle.
Monte Carlo. He got the Monte Carlo.
Ooh. Yeah, that's the thing. There was so many cool auto rifles.
Yeah.
And it was just like, people were just like, these plebs with these auto rifles, because it was just basically spray and pray. And it was like, but it was an art to it, man. Like, you control the recoil, and you could keep it on someone's face. You could just paint the whole picture, and that was it. That was the beauty of it. But the damage sucked, ultimately.
Yeah, like Suros used to be like the gun. Like if you took PvP seriously, you needed a Suros regime.
Mm-hmm.
And then they nerfed the auto rifles like crazy. And then immediately it turned into, well, now you need Thorn. Like, this is how you destroy everybody in PvP. So now they're nerfing Thorn and going back. They're buffing auto rifles, which means it'll probably go right back to you need a Suros regime, especially since the Suros is getting a year 2 upgrade, which is another awesome thing about randomly getting a Suros right at the end.
Hell?
So it means that, so basically the way that it works is if you have an exotic in year 1 that gets updated in year 2, because they went and updated a whole bunch of them, you get the year 2 version for free. You just get it. So I'm pretty excited about that. I get a pretty awesome auto rifle for nothing, like literally nothing.
I might have to, I'll have to log in to see what I'm gonna get and what I'm whatever. Oh man,
you should definitely log in and at least look at the postmaster, because he's probably sent you a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
I mean, the PS4 is hooked up; it's just downstairs, and I use it for TV now because no Comcast. But yeah.
Year 1 ending pretty soon.
Yep.
September 8th is the update. I'm super excited for it. I bought a second PS4 because I hate money.
What?
Yeah. So
although I did just say I have 2 Xbox 360s. It wasn't like I bought one used and right now. I bought it when it was.
No, like, so it I wanted a second PS4 so that I don't have to like kick people out of the living room to play games, but I also wanted to leave the other one in the one in the living room.
Yeah.
So I
couldn't you get the PS TV thing or whatever?
Maybe. The other thing is that I want to be able to play the PS4 with the lady. So play Destiny with the lady. So
that is something actually I've heard from the lady complaining about how you guys can't both play on your accounts.
Yeah.
I actually remember she came along with us on a farming spree, and she was like, "This is the stupidest fucking thing ever. I'm out." And I think we kind of hurt her feelings on the game in terms of like what her perspective was of the game. But I guess she's back in.
Yeah. I had her poking around on her character the other day, and she was like, "This is really fun." And she like tried to do the daily heroic mission for a whole bunch, but like she hasn't played in ages, so she was dying.
That was our fault.
Yeah,
because we did that thing where we basically get the chest, but we go in a big lap around those what are those guys called? The big dudes, I forget their name.
The Cabal.
Yeah, the Cabal. Thank you. We did a big lap and just basically run in a room, nothing there. Run in a room, nothing there. Run another room, nothing there. Do another lap. Yeah. Do another lap. And she was just like,
I'm so glad
they
fixed the farming. They fixed that ages ago apparently, but like now it's you just buy things with Vanguard marks or Crucible marks. Yeah, and it's like 10 marks for 20 Spirit Bloom or whatever. It's really nice. Seriously, Destiny, it's gotten so much better. Like I really enjoyed Destiny up until level 20, and then I didn't like it anymore because it was you have to find a group for people. Yeah. And now between the community thing coming to where it makes it a lot easier to find groups, and all of the upgrades that have happened before now, and including the Taken King and so on, like they're really making this game so good. You should totally play again.
I know. I feel like everything I've heard has been advertised directed towards me.
Yeah.
And there's probably plenty of other people that feel the same way. It's just like everyone's like, this is like every headline is like, this is going to fix Destiny. And it was like, I really enjoyed Destiny before, and I played a lot of it. I felt. And especially on my standards, which is like typically 30 to 50 hours a game, and then that's a game I love, right? And yeah, it's like I might have to come and check it out again. I'm actually probably gonna go downstairs after this, since we started recording early today, and go see if I can't log in and get the postmaster and whatnot.
Yeah, you should. What level did you get to? Do you remember?
I think I'm 32.
if you're 32, then you should totally tag along with me and Shizzle and do Prison of Elders in a
God. We'll see.
bit. Do you have House of Wolves?
Wait, was that part of the season pass?
Yes.
Okay, then yes.
We should totally do this.
Oh God, I still have plenty of Metal Gear to go through. I've logged 30 hours in this game.
It'll take like 2 hours.
I've logged 2 hours. I've logged 30 hours in Metal Gear. And
actually, with Shizzle at 34 and me at 33, it'll take us like 30 minutes tops.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, 30
now
hours.
that I'm done selling crack to Mike B.
7% completion rate. Did you hear me?
Yeah, I was talking to Shizzle about the game earlier too. I feel like I have to buy it and play it at some point. Like, everyone is talking about how good Metal Gear Solid 5 is, and I'm like, maybe this once I judged something a little bit too early. I know that's unlike me to totally write something off after 5 minutes of experience with it. But yeah, I won't play it on PC. I'll probably play it on PS4, but with my brand new Taken King PS4 that I bought because I hate money.
Fuck money. So I've been having a blast.
Yeah. This is the actual smoothest segue that's ever happened on this show.
Yeah, guy, it was,
and then I had to point it out.
Damn it! Then you had to put a post-it note on it. Jesus. That's great. Post-it note, bloop, right there.
Like a fucking clippy thing. Like, it looks like you're trying to transition to another topic.
Just destroyed. Destroyed. So I'm definitely suffering from the same effects that I get from Grand Theft Auto, where it's like, I have too much freedom, therefore I don't get shit done. But I've been getting better at it because I've been able to focus my unfocusedness into doing productive things. So the chunks of land they give you to explore in Afghanistan is like freaking huge, and you get a horse. I feel like it's like Just Cause 2 minus like a lot of the physics stuff, but just kind of the open world feeling. You can kind of go around, do whatever you want, and fuck with people wherever you want. Mixed with like a little bit of Red Dead, like you kind of got the Old West because it is a desert and you have a horse and he has a scarf and all that stuff. You just have like loads of freedom. So here's an example. Yesterday, or day for yesterday, two different scenarios. I'm supposed to do this mission, and one mission I'm kind of running around and I'm on my horse, and then there's a fucking bear. Now you can basically attach like these balloons or whatever that will evac or whatever you want to call it. Like they'll take whatever thing it is that you attach it to, and they'll take it back to home base. But there's a percentage of success rate. Typically it's 100%, but on a bear, apparently it was less. And that sucks because because I spent a long time and a whole lot of tranquilizer darts trying to take this bear down, and I'm like sitting there juking him, jousting and everything left, and finally the tranq darts took effect, and I'm like, yeah, you're mine. And I set him off, and he didn't make it. So I don't know where that bear is. So that's like that's one example of some situation I got into. The other one I thought was kind of neat was, so I'm on the horse and I hear a truck, and I pull out my binoculars and I watch it, and it's going down the road, and I'm like, okay, I'm thinking like Old West, you know, like I'm gonna hijack this train type thing, right? It's basically like an LMTV, just like a big huge truck with a bunch of shit in the back. And I'm thinking I'm gonna ride up next to it and jump on it, and I'm gonna be like, stick 'em up, right? And so I'm like, yeah, I'm like, dun, 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 dun. I'm like, right, and I come rolling up behind him. I'm like, I'm actually catching up. It took a long time, but I start catching up. I'm like, yeah. And I get really close, and I'm like, okay, I'm sure that there's not a, transfer from your horse to vehicle button, And I don't know if that actually exists, but I'm sure it's not there. And the reason why I don't know it exists is because when I got close enough to push that button, whatever it might have been, they hit the brakes, and I ended up running into the back of it, just like full board, just like, yeah, just blap, like right to the back, because there was sheep in the road. And like these guys like hit the brakes, and so I hit the back, and then they're like yelling at the sheep, whatever. And so then I jump into so of course I'm stopped, so I get off the horse and I jump into the back of the truck. What's neat about the trucks is they kind of run a lap around all of the checkpoints and all of the BSAs and outposts and whatnot. So you could just basically hitch a ride there and make your way around the map. It's super slow. And there's better ways of getting around, but that's one way to do it. And so I'm laying down in the back of this truck, and we run into this BSA, and it's a pretty heavily armed, guarded BSA, which is like a base, right? And then a sandstorm hits. Now, sandstorms are like totally random, and they basically make your character and everybody else blind, and you can't hear shit. So you can basically sneak around and run up to dudes and like punch them and everything, and like they'll never hear you coming. So they get out to smoke a cigarette, right? And the sandstorm hits like right at that moment. So this is like perfect opportunity. I jump out and I jump into the driver's seat, and I can't see, so I had to pull up the map every once in a while and like see where the road is at, and then I just gun it. And so I'm like gunning it, and I end up like one of the drivers on the side of the road, and I end up almost running him over. And as I'm driving past him, he's like, "Oh!" And then I'm driving down the road, and you're tapped into their comms, you can hear them communicate with their command, and they're like, "Command, come in," and they're like, "Oh, this is command. What's going on?" And he's like, "Something weird just happened." like the dialogue that these characters have, and like I think it makes sense. It's like the game said this character can't see very far. They didn't see me, obviously. They just saw a truck kind of drive by the dude, and then and then disappeared into the mist, and he's like, "I just got out of this truck, there was nobody in it, what happened?" And that was pretty much it.
Nice.
But it's there's a lot of crazy amount of depth in the characters, and that was like in a separate base that I was fucking around in, nowhere near the base I needed to go to do my mission.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was playing Ground Zeroes that the AI was pretty involved, but it also seemed fairly predictable. Like there was a whole lot of like, the camera's gone out at this spot, someone go check it out, and they walk over there and they go, "I don't see anything," and that was it. So that's pretty cool to know that in the actual game that like the AI is advanced enough to be like, I don't fully understand what's going on, but it's weird.
Yeah, it's there. So whenever they see you, if they kind of catch a glimpse of you, they'll pull out their flashlight and they'll point in that direction, which is kind of neat, because if they see you, then they'll like panic and they'll be like, "Oh shit, I see somebody." So there's like stages in their alert status, which kind of adds to the whole like realism part of it. It's like if I see something kind of move, it could be a fox, or it could be whatever. So I'll pull out my flashlight, take a look first. You know, I'm not gonna open fire in that area. Which any other game that's the way it would be. If they catch a glimpse of you, they're just like, "Oh no!" and start shooting that direction. Shizzle has a really great VOD that he linked me. He was in a box, right? You know, the standard Metal Gear camouflage. He's in a box, and he's like, he gets dropped off because you could use the box to ship yourself around the map. He gets dropped off, and he's like, doo. Yeah, all you see is like a box and some feet, just like walking around, and then he gets seen, and like he stops, and then nothing happens, and he cracks a joke. He's all like, that guy's probably like, "Oh, I just saw a box of feet," and then. He says, and then like after the guy was like, "Oh no, nothing's happening," Chisel got back up and started picked up the box and started walking around the corner, and then it's all CP. This is Zulu 7. He's all, "Come in." He's all, "Zulu 7 this is CP. What's up?" So I just saw a box walking away with feet, and he's like, "Cut that shit out. Get back to work." Like he just like cut it out, whatever. Like, you know, stop messing around. Like, get back to work. He's like, "Okay." It's great, man. Like the AI is a lot of fun to mess with, and there's a lot of flexibility with how you can complete missions. the things that you do in the world have a lot of impact on other things that you wouldn't necessarily think were related. So like I took out a relay station, and what ended up happening was it made it harder for them to call in reinforcements. So, I started off trying to be all stealth, and then like I blew up a couple of, like, I didn't even know what I was doing. I just basically blew up a relay station. I was like, no big. I saw some gear that I could blow up, and I blew it up. That was it. And then I went to another station, and they're like, we need to call for reinforcements. And he's all like, SCP's like, oh, we can't call because, you have to just hold tight for a little bit. And I'm all like, oh, time to pull out these guns, bitches. It's just you and me now. And it just kind of, the terrain changes based off of you. I guess you could say the mechanics change based off of how you've influenced the map. And that's fucking sweet.
Nice.
Yep. So yeah, you should get it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. I got a lot of games to play coming up. With Taken King on the 15th.
Oh, I know.
And WildStar is going free to play on the 29th. And I'm like, I wanted WildStar to be amazing. I did not like the questing experience. Like, I just got super overwhelmed with, you've got 43 quests to do in this one small area, and by the way, you can't possibly keep track of all of them. So here you go. That kind of drove me nuts.
Yeah.
But I'm told that they're making a ton of really, really solid improvements, so I want to jump back in and check it out.
Mm-hmm.
And see if the new WildStar can grab me. Obviously still playing WoW, trying to keep up with my arena, at least get my conquest cap each week. I'm getting close to fully geared, at which point I will be like, all right, time to start pushing rating.
That's when you get that's when you get a 3D print of your figure and you call it a season.
Yeah. Yeah,
done.
it's interesting the number, like the sort of like PvPers are, I think it's well known that they're not the majority of WoW players. There's certainly a lot of people that participate in PvP, but everybody does at least some amount of PvE, with a few exceptions. But like the vast majority of people are doing at least some PvE.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting how much even inside the PvP community things tend to be split, where there's obviously the people that are all about pushing rating and they like don't care about the gear. Getting the gear is just an inconvenience before they start pushing rating. And then there's people who are like, once I have all the gear, why am I going to keep PvPing? I have all the gear.
Yeah.
I've got everything. So it's super interesting that there's that kind of split. Me, I'm kind of both. I'm just like, at this point, this is when I start gearing my alt and then I push rating on my main. But yeah, lots of shit to do.
Yeah, I've said since the Legendary days that I definitely believe that PvP is going to carry WoW like well beyond anybody's expectations. And I still stand by that. Like I think that I think it's bigger now than it was, season 9, season 7 for sure. And I mean, I don't mean in numbers because we know what the sub numbers are. I mean in just per capita or percentage of player base that's participating in it. And that says a lot too to you guys who are basically building out the mechanics and setting it up so that there is so that PvPing doesn't completely suck for people who PvE, So it's I think it's gonna be awesome to see it's just me, but WoW turned into like just a straight PvP game. Just like focus on like straight up PvP. All guards are gone in patch 10.0 or whatever. Just leave it open.
Nuts.
That'd be insane.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell how much Blizzard has like started, like even in the esports department, they've started really pushing more in terms of WoW. Like we've got the biggest, like the Americas Regionals is coming up in not this weekend, but the next one. And that's got the biggest prize pool that a regionals event has ever had for WoW of $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
And like $100,000 in the grand scheme of things, I guess it doesn't sound like when the international is dropping like 15 million or whatever they're up to. Like that's okay.
Yeah.
Sure. But still, like it's showing that Blizzard is starting to care a lot more about esports, which is cool.
Yep.
And it's just regionals too. Like there's also BlizzCon to come, and then there's like other events that are having their own prize pools and stuff. I'm really glad to see, like, having made the switch over to working at Blizzard. I'm really glad to see that basically everybody at the company is starting to get behind Blizzard behind WoW as an esport.
Yeah, buddy.
It's cool. Even like hiring Olivia to come in and run events because she's amazing at it. So
yep. Oh man, like most organized person ever. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that the fiasco at the end of my block is over. I'm pretty sure they probably got the guy because there really
didn't sound like he had much of a place to go.
Yeah, like on the other side, at the end of that block, and like I said, I live like up like at the base of a hill here, like in a hill on the hill end. So the only place you can go is more fucking hill uphill. So unless he wanted to take his chances, like climbing up over this fucking hill, which is dumb because there's no trees out there to hide under. Yeah, I think he's probably done.
Good.
Oh, that was eventful.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and listen to hear how much you guys hear. Maybe I'll add some sound effects or some gunshots and shit to the audio.
That's a good idea.
And we'll just not even acknowledge it.
Just because we're just talking the entire time. It's all just going on. It's a good idea.
Yep. All right, well, I guess I'll go downstairs and fire up the PS4.
Yes.
Can I just plug in my Astro headset straight up? Like, just plug it directly in?
Yeah, that's what I've been doing.
I was going to ask you that. That was your mic? That was the Astro mic that you were streaming with, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, shit. I might have to do that then.
Yeah, you just plug the headset right into the controller. Yet another reason that the PS4 is awesome.
I'll have to warn you. I am super bad at first-person shooters on controller.
It's okay. We'll have Shizzle carry us, assuming he ever wakes up.
Yeah, what the hell? 10 o'clock. He's late. Yeah. Oh, Mr. Robot. I got him started on that Mr. Robot, man. Yeah. He's like freaking out. And there's so many like messages from him that's just like, here's one. Fuck. On to the next one. Be right back. What the fuck? Every other message is just like, just hold down a key. Oh.
I need to watch this show.
He wasn't crazy. The suits are real. What the fuck?
Wow,
oh man, it's so good. Yeah, you should watch it. It is actually a really good show, and had a very satisfying season finale. Season, not series. They definitely left it open.
Nice.
But yeah, there's here's how I described it to him because he was like, "Sell me on it." Let me see. Yeah, it was this morning. I went way too far back there. Let's see. Okay, so sell me on Mr. Robot, go. And I said, shit, man, I don't want to spoil it, but basically, you think it be what it is, but it don't what it do, and don't. And I can't wait for him to finish so he could be like, you were right.
Nice.
Yes, and you should get on that too.
Yeah, I will.
All right, cool. All right, well, I'm going downstairs, and I guess I'll see you in a little bit.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye.